This is Corey Pritchard with True Financial Engineering, and I'm very excited about being able to share a new marketing video with you. And I'm not going to waste a lot of time. What I want to do is not make the video about me. Is what I want to do is do my best to concentrate this on you, right? So you can be completely selfish in listening to this information because it's all about you. It's all about giving you what you truly want in life. So what we want to do during this time is I want to make sure that I am making sure that I can share with you how I can help you get what it is that you truly want, right? Now, how can I speak with definite certainty that I'm able to provide you what you truly want? Is because, to be honest with you, it's what I want also, right? I believe it is the thing or things that most of us or all of us actually are working for, right? So the first thing would be that we want enough resources to be able to enjoy what we enjoy, right? If that makes sense. So when we're looking at it, then we're working every single day. So it doesn't matter if you're working in a job, right? A job as a 1040 or a W2, sorry about that, filing 1040, or if you are a business owner operating in any business role, it doesn't matter what that business role is. The reality is that we show up and we provide service to the marketplace because we want the resources, right? And I would have to say, that for most of us, we don't want the paper, right, or the linen slash cotton, currency that we receive. We're not looking for that. We're not really looking to just hold on to and worship the digits that show up in our account. We want what those resources will actually do for us or what they can do for us, right? And for many of us, we came into a system that we don't even question, right? And it is to go to school, right? Get a good job. Once you get a good job, work for 40 or some odd years. Make sure you put your money into a retirement account. You're very smart and wise with those resources. And then if you played the game right, then maybe by age 65 or maybe a little sooner, if you really done things right, then you can get permission to be able to go out and be able to enjoy the remainder of your life. So we really rarely question that model, okay? But the reality is that from our adolescence, or as we're kids, we know what we want, right? We know that we really want to enjoy life. I have three kids, and I know every single day the number one thing that's on their mind is how much fun can I have? How much enjoyment can I get out of this day, right? And we've been trained or retrained out of some of those things. So we're taught that you can't go around thinking about how you can enjoy yourself all day, right? You need to sort of start focusing on being responsible and paying bills, right? Taking care of other people and all those types of things. But the reality is that for most of us, we still have that innate sense that we want to enjoy life. Does that make sense? And I'd say that anybody that's honest with themselves is that we want to enjoy life. We want enough resources to be able to enjoy life, right? Travel, spend time with family, do whatever it is that you want to be able to do. So that's number one. And number two is we want to be able to have enough time to be able to enjoy the resources that we have, right? And it's a sad reality is that there are individuals whose dilemma in life is not money, right? They have plenty of money, plenty of resources, plenty of assets, but what they don't have is time, right? They don't really have enough time to be able to enjoy those resources. And the sad thing is some of you are so engrossed with the demand that your profession or your business places on you that even when you have so-called downtime, rest time, that you really are not truly able to disconnect to be able to enjoy that time, still stressed out about what's going to come when you go back into that work role. So you're really not able to enjoy the resources that you have. So I would say that you want to enjoy the resources that you have. So you want time, right? You want the time freedom to be able to enjoy those resources. Okay. And the third thing is that I believe that all of us really want to do something that matters in life, right? And you have all kind of books and coin these different terms, but the reality is we want to do something that matters, right? On a daily basis, we would like to engage in some sort of activity that actually matters, knowing that this thing, this way that I'm contributing, that it matters, right? It has a benefit to other people, it has a benefit to the world, right? I can feel good about what it is that I'm offering. And I truly believe that we're looking for those things, right? We're looking for more resources to be able to enjoy life. We're looking to have more time to enjoy the resources and the people and things that we love. And we're looking to be able to, again, do something that matters. So as far as what it is that I'm offering you, is offering you to be of service to you, right? I'm offering to put myself in your back pocket, if that makes sense. So I would say that for most people, that they've never been given the opportunity to have access to the services that I'm providing, right? That doesn't mean that you can't get some of these services anywhere else, but the reality is that you haven't been shared, right? Given the opportunity to be able to have access to these services, and definitely not in one place. So what I want to do is show you how these services that I'm offering can give you what it is that you want, right? Those things that I shared. Now, if there's something else that you are driving for, that's driving you every single day that I didn't mention, plug that right in, and you can see how these things, these services, and these products can actually offer those benefits. So the first way is in training, right? And it's amazing that we were not trained to be successful, not normally. Okay, so follow what I'm saying. So when we talk about going into the public school situation, even in private school situations, growing up in the average so-called, average American household, if you're in America, and if we think about the programming that we receive and training that we receive, the reality is what we've been given as the common and normal training is how to be broke. Okay, so understand what I'm saying, and I'm not meaning that in a way to be derogatory. I'm saying to you that we've been taught how to be broke as a norm, okay? And we've been taught to be good workers, right? But we haven't been taught how to develop a wealth mindset, right? We haven't been taught how to develop a rich mindset, not as the masses. Now, that is not something that I can say for all Americans, okay? Because there is a select few, maybe 1 to 2% of Americans who achieve this so-called ultra wealth, and what you'll find is that those individuals aren't raising their children on the same diet that we're raised on. Okay, that's just the reality of it. So that doesn't mean you can't eat those foods and get that training, but it means that you can't continue to eat the diet that you're eating and expect a different result. Hope that makes sense. So what I'm suggesting is that the number one way I can be a benefit to you is by giving you training, wealth, literacy, curriculum, so that you have the information that you need and you have the exercises that can help you to actually get active with the information, knowledge, and wisdom, so that you begin to change internally. Okay, so here's the reality of it. Most people believe that the dilemma to their life is not having enough money, right? So we have been trained that if we were to get more money, that I would have less problems, okay, and that things would be better. Now, here's the reality: if you stop and think about every year since you left high school, okay, for those of you who have graduated high school, every year since you graduated high school, if you want to be more specific, every year since you graduated from your trade or left your college, then every single year, then you've made more money than the previous year, right? Either in salary or an hourly wage. The reality is that you have had pay increases your entire life. Now, here's the thing that you have to ask yourself: those pay increases, did it help you get more of these three things that you really want most. Okay. So think about these annual pay increases. Did those annual pay increases allow you to have more resources to enjoy your life? Possibly. Okay. Now, what I want to do is qualify that, because I'm asking, when you are using resources to enjoy life, is it resources that you paid for, or is it resources that you've rented, right? Meaning that you've taken debt, swiped on a credit card, right? So you're paying interest on your enjoyment. And the reality is, I'm telling you, you deserve better than to have to make rent payments on enjoyment. And you should be able to, based on your annual income, to be able to pay cash for vacation, right? To pay cash for new cars, to pay cash for upgrades in houses. You shouldn't have to go rent those items and buy them over time and pay interest. That shouldn't be the case, okay? So again, what I'm saying to you is that you've had annual increases, and given those annual increases, it hasn't helped you be able to have more resources to enjoy time. It also hasn't given you more time to enjoy the resources, and it has not been able to provide for you. Really, I think the number one thing is that you want to do something that matters, right? You want to do something to matter that matters. So when I am sharing this information with you, what I'm saying is that I am currently working on and continuing to work on. I've developed some, and I'm always, I believe, as long as I'm living, developing wealth literacy curriculum, because I want to make sure that you have the information that should have been available to you, so you can get it on demand, right? So, with that being said, here at this True Financial Engineering website, then you'll see here training area, right? So you can go to the training area. There's not a tremendous amount of stuff there, right? I'll add to it as time goes on, but I do have many more videos, right? I have a lot of training, a lot of material that's available, but it's enough to get you started, right? So you can go in here and you can listen to some of these videos, and you can keep checking in, right? You can actually send me an email if you like to, if you want to be notified when I release new videos, or you can go out and you can actually subscribe to True Financial Engineering on YouTube, right? You can see this same logo, right? True Financial Engineering. Just type in my name, you look for this logo, and you can subscribe for that. Tons of material. So you can go through that, and then you can, by subscribing, then you can be notified when new training material is available. That's what I would suggest you do. You could also go to Facebook, and you can put in Storehouse of Wealth. Okay, it's a page that I designed just for that reason, and you'll find material there where you can get, again, more wealth training. And then it's not just me, okay? It's you going out and deciding that you need to get this information. Maybe I'll suggest books or videos and different things that I myself didn't make, but I believe are beneficial to you, so I can share those pieces of information, and you can share pieces of information with me that I can share with others. But it allows us to get in class, right? It allows us to be able to get into a university, right, or a school for learning wealth and learning riches, okay? Because there are laws that govern wealth and riches, and if we align with those laws, then the natural product or result is wealth. That's just the reality of it. Internally, first in me, right? My ideas have to change, right? So it happens in me first. In order for it to begin to manifest exteriorly, it manifests in me first. So the process begins in me. Okay, if that makes sense. So that's the first way. The second way is to develop an asset protection game plan or strategies. Okay. So here also on this page, you'll see protect your assets. Now, normally what happens is when a person goes into a conversation as it concerns asset protection, then the conversation is really steered towards death, right? So if you're 20 years old, right, talking about an estate plan is not going to be that exciting, because it's so geared towards death, right? And when a person is actually going to leave. But the reality is, an asset protection game plan, then it should be one that should be in place for your entire life. It's one that we add to, we adjust, right? We are constantly focused on making sure we're maximizing it. It benefits you, it benefits your children, it benefits your legacy, right? And you don't have to wait for it to die, for you to die, right, in order for it to be beneficial to everybody. So what I'd like to make sure that we can put in place for you is an asset protection game plan, right? It will make sure that everything works in the way you want it to. Does that make sense? And by having new ideas, things will come to your mind that you'll consider that maybe you didn't consider before. Okay. So, with that being said, the number one asset that we look to protect is you, right? So, sadly, we don't recognize ourselves as being assets, right? Now, the government recognizes you as being an asset, right? Everyone else looks at you as being an asset, but rarely do we understand that we ourselves are our most valuable asset. Okay. So the first asset that we have to protect is you, right? We have to focus on being able to protect you as an asset first. So if by chance, something doesn't work right, you're incapacitated, can't talk, can't make decisions, we want to make sure that somebody's in place to be able to make good decisions for you until you can get back in order, right? We got to make sure we do that. Another thing we want to be able to consider is that as far as gifting or inheritance, the most important inheritance or gift that you could give to your family and people that love you is not a thing, right? It's not stuff. It's yourself, right? So the reality is that you want to be in a position to have a long, vibrant life, right? Again, protecting you as that asset first, because the greatest gift that you can give to your family is yourself, right? You have experienced loss in your life, grandparents and parents and aunts and uncles and different people. And I would say it doesn't matter how much they were to leave you as a so-called inheritance, you would much rather have that person, that individual in your life. Okay. So again, talking about asset protection, the first asset that we protect is you, right? That's the first thing. We want to make sure we're putting a protection plan in place, a game plan in place for you. And then the next asset is going to be your family, right? It's going to be people that you love. Those people are your assets and they're your responsibility. So we make sure that an asset protection plan is in place for the people that you love. And then lastly, it's going to be the physical assets or the financial assets, right, that you're responsible for, that you have, and that you will accumulate over your lifetime. And we put a plan in place, a game plan in place to make sure that that is working the way that it should, right? And I am very excited about being able to have a better understanding now, more than ever, about how this plan works. And it shouldn't be one that only works during your lifetime, is that you should be looking now about putting things in place now so that in multiple generations, 4, 5, 6, 10 generations, right, that what you're doing now, as far as the work that you're doing in your job, right, the work you're doing at your business, right, the assets that you're accumulating now, the things that you're doing right now, is that all of that should be a benefit for multiple generations, right? And that's where we should be geared towards, is being able to have this plan to be able to impact multiple generations. Okay, so that's the second part. Now the third part of what it is that I want to make sure that I can put in place for you and help you with is being able to fund this plan, right? So I'm suggesting that every person should have a trust, some sort of a trust. As of right now, I believe that everyone should start with what's called a living trust, right? So if you don't have a trust in place yet, and maybe you're not in position to put a trust in place, then we can still start the process of asset game planning, right? Asset protection game planning, so that as soon as you are able to, and when you're in position to actually put the trust in place, we already have it. We already have all the details, right? And the reason why you want to do that is that trust is going to protect your will, right? What's on your heart? What is your intent for your legacy? It will legally protect that. It will make sure it's working long after you and I are gone, right? It's going to be continuing to work for your legacy to make sure that the assets are protected. Right now, you're gone. Right, we can only protect you for so long. That's the reality of it. You do have an expiration date, and we are all limited to a maximum of 120 years. Right, so we're not going to get past that expiration date, but it doesn't mean that your legacy has to end when you end, right? When your physical body is done here. Now, you will continue on as a spirit being, but your physical body, when it's done, it doesn't mean your legacy has to be done. So we want to make sure that we're starting with the end in mind, okay? And the way these trusts go is that you fund the trust, right? And there are different ways of funding trust. It can be with real estate, right? It can be with businesses. It can be with bonds. It can be with investment accounts. It can be with any of those things. But I believe one of the most efficient ways to begin funding a trust is with a life insurance policy, right? Now, before you get all, mixed up or out of sorts about life insurance. Now, the life insurance that I'm suggesting is not focused on death, right? I'm not suggesting that we're putting death insurance in place. I'm suggesting that we put true life insurance in place, one that benefits you and your loved ones during your life. And then when the time comes, it will continue to do work and benefit them when you're gone, right? So what I'm suggesting is that we put a plan in place to fund your trust, right? And even though you don't have a trust, we can go ahead and put the plan in place. So when the time comes, it will fund your trust. And what it will do is that by having this type of program in place, using life insurance to fund your trust, then it's going to make everything far more efficient, right? So all the different accounts that you have, if you choose to, we can streamline those accounts so you have fewer accounts, because I bank with life insurance companies, and I'm suggesting that I can help you and teach you to know how to do that. And again, first of all, why would you want to bank with life insurance companies? And these are a few things. One is that you can have fewer accounts to manage, right? You can reduce the accounts that you have to manage. Okay, that's awesome, giving you more time and peace, right? You also have accounts that work more efficiently, right? So they grow faster, they have far more protection, right? You have ease of access to those accounts, right? So again, making it far more efficient, okay? And there's far less waste, okay? Anybody that's looking for less waste, right? And dealing with money, okay? These accounts would do that. You also have full access to these accounts, right? Without penalties and fees, okay? So I'm suggesting that these accounts will be used to actively invest during your lifetime, right? Being able to buy low and sell high, being able to accumulate assets, again, that should go into this trust, go into this asset protection game plan, okay? It also reduces your tax liability. So when we're dealing with wealthy and rich people, then the major focus becomes reducing tax liability, right? And we want to make sure that we do that. So the great thing about banking with life insurance companies is that it is one of the most tax efficient ways that you can deal with money, right? So you are reducing your tax liability by doing it this way, okay? Also, it is by funding your trust or asset, okay? So again, I'm saying to you that life insurance is one of the most efficient ways that you can actually fund a trust, okay? And I really do believe that. So when you're looking at it, then say that you have an account, an IRA, or whatever it is that you have money in, then it's a case where you actually have to have the account value inside of the plan or the account in order for it to transfer. Now, the beauty is about banking with life insurance is that you can have an insurance plan that you put in place, right? It has a death guarantee. So when you pass, and not if, but when you pass, is that money will pass to your beneficiaries tax free. Isn't that a wonderful thing? Now, why is that so important? It goes tax free, but you also have cash that's accumulating inside the life insurance policy. So you can have all of that cash that you have plus the death benefit that goes to your beneficiaries, which should be the trust. But if it's not the trust, it can be your loved ones, but it will ultimately be a trust. So you are funding your trust with tax free money, and you're putting inside your trust all the details about how these resources will be accessed and used for the life of the trust. Isn't that a wonderful thing? So with that being said, I'm saying to you that These are some great services that I am in position to offer. It's a few more, but these are the major things and how I want to be able to do that. At begin, the why is the most important thing. The tool is not. The tool is not the important thing. It is the why. Okay, so I'm sharing with you that by working together, that I want to make sure that you are able to get more resources to enjoy, right? Your time. Does that make sense? I want you to be able to have more time, right? More resources, and ultimately to be able to spend your time doing something that matters most to you. How enjoyable is that to know that you're waking up every single day and you're spending the bulk of your time doing what matters most to you, right? Actually having an impact on the world, but enjoying life, right? And I believe that the plan and program that we're setting up, it gives you and all the rest of our business partners the best opportunity to be able to retire into God's unique purpose for them as soon as possible. And that's what we're looking to do. So if you'd like to have more information, what I encourage you to do is visit www.trufinancialengineering.com. Click on one of these tabs to get more information. Okay, do some research. You can also email storehouseofwealth@gmail.com. Just send an email to storehouseofwealth@gmail.com. You'll get an instant response with a few videos. And it's just a great way to be able to get your feet kind of wet, right? If you're not really ready to make any moves, no big deal. Go ahead and start with some of the training material. Get out there, go to Facebook, go to YouTube, right? Get into the training area here on the website and start listening to some of those videos. But I'm asking you to truly consider what you want. I've told you, right? I can give you what you want, but ask how soon you would like that to happen. Okay. So, again, it's been a pleasure talking to you. This is Corey with TRuFe Financial Engineering. Have a great day.